Picture this. A bacterium slips through a tiny cut on your skin. What follows? A chain of defenses, each building on the last. Starting with physical barriers, then the innate immune system, inflammation, systemic signals, and finally the adaptive immune response. Let's follow this invader as your body fights back step by step. The skin is usually impenetrable. Keratin layers, natural oils, and antimicrobial peptides guard against microbes. Mucosal surfaces, like those in the lungs and gut, add another line of defense. They're coated in mucus that traps microbes, swept along by cilia and laced with defensins, tiny proteins that puncture microbial membranes. But in this case, the bacterium finds a cut and gets inside. The barriers are breached now. Waiting inside the tissue are macrophages, long-lived immune sentinels. They use pattern recognition receptors, or PRRs, to detect microbial molecules known as PAMPs. Once contact is made, the macrophage swallows the invader into a phagosome, which fuses with a lysosome, creating an acidic phagolysosome full of enzymes, nitric oxide, and reactive oxygen species to destroy the microbe. But the macrophage doesn't fight alone. It releases cytokines, like TNF-alpha and IL-1 or interleukin-1, that dilate local blood vessels, increasing permeability and recruiting help. It also releases chemokines, like CXCL8, which form a trail to guide neutrophils. Now, even before cells arrive, the complement system is active. It can be triggered in three ways. There's a classical pathway, which is activated when CRP or antibodies bind a microbial surface. There's a lectin pathway, initiated when mannose-binding lectin or MBL recognizes sugars on pathogens. Then there is an alternative pathway, which is spontaneously activated at low levels, then amplified on microbial surfaces. All three converge on the cleavage of C3. This coats microbes with C3b by opsonization, and then releases C3a and C5a, which amplify inflammation and attract cells. Then they assemble the membrane attack complex, or MAC, to punch lethal holes in pathogens. The cytokine storm changes local blood vessels. Endothelial cells express adhesion molecules and neutrophils, by far the most abundant white blood cell in circulation. They begin to roll along the vessel wall. They stop when integrins firmly bind, and then squeeze between cells in a process called extravasation. Once inside the tissue, neutrophils unleash their arsenal. They engulf bacteria, release toxic granules, and produce a respiratory burst of reactive oxygen species to kill microbes. In some cases, they cast sticky webs of DNA and histones called NETs, trapping microbes even after the neutrophil dies. Other immune cells also play roles. Eosinophils target parasites. Basophils and mast cells release histamine, fueling allergy and inflammation, though they're the least common leukocytes in the blood. The local tissue now shows the four classical signs of inflammation: redness and heat, from increased blood flow; swelling, from fluid leakage, called edema; and pain, from pressure on nerve endings. These signs aren't just symptoms, they're evidence that immune cells are pouring in now, creating a hostile environment for the microbe. Macrophages don't only call for local help, they send messages body-wide. Interleukin-6 or IL-6 travels through the blood to the liver, which begins producing acute-phase protein. C-reactive protein, CRP, which binds bacterial surfaces and directly activates the classical complement pathway, then mannose-binding lectin, MBL, which initiates the lectin pathway, and serum amyloid A, which strengthens the inflammatory response. These proteins act like extra opsonins, making microbes easier to recognize and destroy. This is the acute phase response, a systemic wave of innate immunity. Now imagine instead that the invader is a virus infecting nearby cells. Infected cells release type 1 interferons, IFN alpha and IFN beta, which spread to neighbors and put them into an antiviral state, shutting down viral replication. Specialized plasmacytoid dendritic cells are professional interferon producers, pumping out massive amounts to blanket tissues. Interferons also activate NK cells or natural killer cells, the next strike force. Some infected macrophages form an inflammasome, a protein machine that activates caspase-1. This enzyme cleaves inactive pro-IL-1 beta into active interleukin-1 beta, one of the most powerful fever-inducing cytokines. At the same time, the cell undergoes pyroptosis, a fiery self-destruction that releases cytokines in a burst, not to be confused with apoptosis. This clears infected cells and amplifies inflammation. but if uncontrolled, it causes auto-inflammatory diseases like NOMID or gout, where IL-1 beta release goes unchecked. As the infection continues, natural killer cells arrive. Unlike T and B cells, NK cells don't need prior training. They're activated by type 1 interferons and cytokines from macrophages. NK cells patrol for stressed or infected cells. They look for the absence of normal MHC class 1 molecules, a concept known as missing self. Viruses often downregulate MHC1 to hide from T cells, but that makes them a target for NK cells. Once engaged, NK cells release toxic granules that trigger apoptosis in nearby infected cells. They also secrete cytokines like IFN-gamma, which activate macrophages, creating a feedback loop that now intensifies the fight. Finally, dendritic cells take center stage. After engulfing microbes, they migrate from tissues to the nearest lymph node. There, they present antigens to T cells on MHC molecules. This handoff begins the adaptive immune response. Helper T cells orchestrate the immune system, activating macrophages and B cells. Cytotoxic T cells kill infected host cells directly. B cells mature into plasma cells, releasing antibodies that neutralize pathogens, opsonize them, and activate complement. Some T and B cells become memory cells, standing guard for the future. If the same pathogen ever returns, the response will be stronger and faster. This is the immune system in action: barriers at the gates, innate cells on the front line, complement and cytokines amplifying the response, NK cells striking infected targets, and dendritic cells handing off to the adaptive system for precision and memory.